Hello and welcome to another very exciting moment here on Zero to Hero, where we talk to industrious people, entrepreneurs on their success stories. I am Faith Obasio, your host on the program, and with me today is a very amazing woman. She is a mother, she is a wife, and an entrepreneur, the CEO of Nutrihitcafe. Nice to meet you, Ma.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Okay, so this program is actually Zero to Hero. We want to know about your experiences from point zero to point hero. So, like, how did you start? Like, can you tell us about your background?
Okay, so my name is Rose Anna. I'm married with 3 beautiful children. My first child is about 11 years old. Now, eating healthy has just been a part of me. Okay. And I grew up with a family of 6 siblings. I'm actually the last in the family.
Wow. Okay.
Then, considering the fact that I'm last, it's expected I should be pampered or lazy or laid back. So, but actually lost my dad when my mom was pregnant for me. So I didn't even grow up knowing him. She was like 2 months pregnant. But I still grew up wanting to be independent. And that's how it has been right from childhood. I've always wanted to do my thing. Now, I got to have the kids, got married, and because of my lifestyle, I thought of having Nutrihitcafe. From the name, you could hear that it's about nutrition.
Yes.
Nutrihit is all about living a healthy lifestyle.
Yes.
So that was how I started from my kitchen.
Okay.
I didn't even think that in the next, I had started for 1 year at home, and before you knew it, this opportunity came.
Okay.
I actually built the cafe from scratch. It's not like I'm renting this place.
Okay.
So it's actually been what I did not even expect that I can get to this level for now.
Yeah. Okay. So you said you didn't get to meet your dad. So how was it for you as a girl growing up without your dad? You know, sometimes we see our dad as our inspiration, and so how was it for you?
Well, I want to use the opportunity to thank my mother.
Okay.
Because having children at that tender age that were still small and losing her husband, it wasn't easy for her. Not like she was working, so she had to struggle to make sure. And the first child was like in secondary school, so she had to struggle to make sure all her children went to tertiary institution just to fulfill her own dream. And it wasn't easy actually. Then, since I was the last, the first actually took up my own responsibilities. And that was how I got to start staying with my elder sister, who took me like her child, and up to this moment. So it wasn't really like a rosy thing, where we thank God that we got to this point.
That's actually amazing. So, how was your childhood like? Were there any challenges you encountered as a growing child?
Yes, I actually had. Because my mom was actually 2 months pregnant. With my pregnancy, okay. I grew up not seeing my dad. I got to hear his stories, see pictures, and it was really not easy for me as a child, you know. And the last child, sometimes we go out playing and you see people saying sorry, talking about me, like she does not know her father.
Oh my God.
But the beautiful thing is I came out looking like him.
Oh, wow.
So the world knew that, okay, this is his daughter.
So you never had that fatherly love?
No, I didn't. And I want to use the opportunity to thank my mom for being able to bridge in the gap for us, take care of her 6 children, up to train them to tertiary level, and trying to make it in a way that wherever my dad would see from heaven and smile down at her. So at some point, my elder sister, the first, took me away to grow up with her, and that was how life started away from my mom.
Oh, You are the CEO of Nutrihitcafe. At what point did you discover this idea of setting up this establishment?
Well, I've always been someone that loves to eat healthy. I love everything about nutrition. I get to read a lot about it. Unfortunately, I didn't get it as a BSc, but I get to read a lot of books. Like you can see, that's why it's a cafe, like a nutrition cafe. We still have books stocked in here. Like people could buy books. Say food and books go hand in hand. So for those that cannot afford to buy, they can just read the books we have for free here and just like kind of make people relax, because they said readers are leaders. So I read a lot about spices, the fruits, the herbs, and got to know a lot of ideas, things people could eat to live a healthy lifestyle, live longer in life and all that. And that idea brought to birth Nutrihitcafe. I actually started started Nutrihit from my kitchen at home. Because as at that time I didn't have the money. As a married woman.
Oh, you were married?
Yes. Okay. I remember some customers saying they want to come to the house to see the kitchen where their food is coming from. They want to see how clean the kitchen, where the food is coming from, you know. And in our first 1 year we were operating from the house. Didn't even think of how I was going to get a place yet because the finances were not there. But after that, in fact, getting this place was like a miracle. It's not what I had even planned. I had not even saved money to rent a place. But the way things just turned around it was really amazing. So we finally got to rent the park and started building Nutrihit from scratch. Then we got to this level.
Okay. Was your husband in any way supportive of this business?
Yes, he was, because we had to start two businesses at the same time. Okay. But he was like, let Nutrihitcafe go first before he starts the bar behind. So we had to build Nutrihitcafe first before we started the bar. And Answered Mansard Insurance, they have the health sector, the health insurance. They were going to have Nutrihitcafe as one of their partners. So that also helped us to speed up the building of Nutrihitcafe, because that's a reputable insurance company that was coming to partner with us. So we had to get it done. And also for our customers that wanted to walk in to a place, like a place where they could order their food. So that brought about building Nutrihitcafe.
Okay, so Nutrihit, it's more like you developed yourself, because you said you read books and you didn't study nutrition in the university.
Yeah.
So it was more like you developed yourself. Was it a passion, or it was just something you had to do?
It's more of passion. It's more of passion for me.
Okay.
Because, like I say, Nutrihitcafe is about a lifestyle. So it's something that is continuation.
Yeah.
It's more of a passion for me, because not more about the money. Yeah, okay. And I like it when some people come in here and they're like, we like what you do. You're different from the normal restaurants. And that's why at Nutrihitcafe we make our food from the scratch. When the customer places their order, we go to make the food, because we don't want to make food that is like for the large volume, tasteless, not rich meals. We try to have most of the important vegetables, spices, all inclusive in our meals, to be able to serve our customer rich meals. At some point we're like, okay, we can't just be doing just salad, juices, smoothies alone. People still want to swallow, people want to eat soup. They're also like, every food we eat in Nigeria is healthy, you know, but it's basically your portion of food. So we still have our soups. Those that want to swallow with like wheat, like acha, we still do the pounded yam, gari, but we always advise portion control. You can't just take a bowl of food and eat so much. Of course, that is not right. So we still sell everything, but we say everything should be in smaller portions.
That means this place is more like a diet hub? Will I call it a diet? Like,
yes, for me, I think Nutrihitcafe is like one of its kind in Abuja.
Its kind, yeah.
I don't think there's any other place that does exactly what we do, because we still have, if you want to eat just like the vegetables, the carrots and so, we still have that for the salads. We are good in that part. We are good in the healthy grains, like those that are gluten. They want the gluten-free food. We have that part of the gluten food, and we have the Nigerian food combination. So you come, sit down, and the food is made for you fresh. So everything is served fresh. I just are served fresh, like when you come with juice and give you. So we don't bottle it up and keep for a long time. So
that means I actually have to make Nutrihit my #1 stop, because
please do.
I need to be on a diet. I need to cut down on some weight.
Exactly. And you know, when you eat the right food, do your exercises,
you live healthy.
You live healthy, and you live a long life.
Exactly.
And away from most of these chronic diseases we have now in the country, because you have to watch what you eat. Basically, there are a lot of ulcer, diabetes, so people need to watch what they eat.
Wow, this is really amazing. And then coming back to a more critical situation, before you got married, you said you started Nutrihit when you got married. So how was it like for you as a young girl? Because you know, most times as young girls, we find it difficult to get support, and you understand where I'm coming from. When you need something and you go to somebody, it's kind of difficult. They request 1 or 2 things from you. But then you said your husband supported you. So how was it? Was there any dream you had before getting into marriage and starting up Nutrihit?
Actually, after my university days, I think I actually got married early while serving. I really didn't have that time to start thinking about doing something else. Before getting married. So
okay, that's fine. So like, what advice do you have for youths, younger generation? You know, we all want to make it fast, we want to hit it big.
Well, I would advise the youth to just take it easy and follow their dreams. Then I noticed that a lot of people just want to make money. But when you go into a business that is not your passion, you really don't get to flow well with it. You say, I get this fulfillment whenever I'm in Nutrihitcafe, because I love to be at the cafe. I love what I'm doing here. Sometimes I go into the kitchen to be with them there, follow up with what is going on, because I have this whole dream in my head. I know what I want the cafe to be like. So it's never a dull moment being here at the cafe. The youths have to understand that that moral has to be there. You don't have to sell yourself, you don't have to sell your body. Look at me today. This is me that lost my dad at a very like I was not even born then, and growing up to hear all about him from my siblings, seeing his pictures. They all had beautiful stories to tell. I had nothing to say about him. When they're talking about my dad, I just sit down and be looking at them. Sometimes my sister would bring out the letters my father used to write to her while she was in boarding house, you know, all the pet names. I never got to have all of that. So it's really not what I would wish anyone to go through, you know. That's why I look at my children today. I want to give them the best I can give to them, because I know how it is when the father figure is not there, and my husband tries to be there for them to the best he can, forgetting that we have businesses. When it's family time, it has to be family time. So, you know, you can still achieve what you want to achieve even when you don't have parents around, because most times people use that as an excuse to sell themselves off. But I think I am like a good example for the youth, for them to look at and say that they can do what they want to do and get to achieve it, basically.
That's right. So you're saying Nutrihit offers you the opportunity to take care of your children, or is it so demanding?
It's actually demanding, but thank God for the staff that are able to hold up while I'm not around also. So, and that has been able to help us and keep us running.
All right. Thank you very much.
Once again, Nutrihitcafe is in Wuse too,
Okay.
on Amadu Bello Way, opposite City Park.
Okay.
And
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Rose Anno, for being with us on this program and sharing your story. We sincerely appreciate that. Keep it a date with us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Fresh News TV, like our Facebook page, because we'll be bringing you more and more interesting stories on Zero to Hero. I am Favor Basio too, and I remain your host on the program. And on behalf of my production crew, I say bye for now.